So you've decided on the perfect tattoo design, but how much is it going to cost and how do you go about finding out? Stay tuned for tips and more. Hey guys, I'm Hayley Tattooer and this is Tattoo Talk, and today we're talking about tattoo cost and how to get a tattoo quote. So a couple of terms you're going to hear in the process of getting a tattoo quote are minimum charge. This equates to the shop minimum charge, so anything that's probably an inch squared smaller is going to fall into the shop minimum charge. And every shop has a shop minimum. You can expect it to be from $60 to $80, anywhere up to $150 to $200. And this is going to depend on the shop, the local economy, the quality of tattoo artists, a number of different things. And the shop minimum is non-negotiable. It is the amount that it costs that artist to set up their station, cover all their studio expenses, including their shop rent, and make a very, very small profit. So don't try and haggle the shop minimum. Your artist is probably not making any profit off it as it is. The next term is hourly rate. So you will find that most tattoo artists around the world will run off an hourly rate. Hourly rates are extremely varied, again with the local economy, quality of your tattoo artist, position of the shop. You're going to be looking at either an hourly rate of sort of $80 an hour for maybe an apprentice, all the way up to $300 to $600 for those really, really highly sought after tattoo artists. But mostly you can expect a tattoo hourly rate to be somewhere between $100 and $200. And artists will usually provide you just with their hourly rate and a rough estimate on time for anything that is 2 hours or more. So large custom work, medium to large custom work. The next term would be flat rate. A lot of tattoo artists use flat rate for a couple of different things. Mostly you will find flat rate tattoos at the lower end of the cost spectrum, so any small tattoo flash, so if you go into a studio and they have books or designs on the walls with a price next to them, that is for a fixed size, fixed detail, no difference exactly as it is, and that's just their way to communicate to the client that that's the cost, that's what you can expect, because a lot of people do prefer to go into the tattoo knowing exactly how much they're going to pay. And usually artists will use a flat rate for, or provide you with a flat rate for anything that's under 2 hours. Another situation where you can expect to be given a flat rate is for an artist that prefers to take a lot of time and does not want to sacrifice time and cost for detail in their tattoo. So probably more to the upper end of the spectrum in terms of cost, but again, a lot of clients do prefer to go into their tattoos, even expensive ones, knowing exactly how they're going to pay. And this is also going to benefit the artist, because if they say, oh, your tattoo is going to take 5 hours at the hourly rate, then once they start getting close to 5 hours, they start sweating it out thinking, oh, we're going to run over this client's budget. If they can't run over the budget, we're going to have to sacrifice details so that we can fit this tattoo into the period that I quoted. So they might provide you with a flat rate, just so that they've got the flexibility to go over time, and you know what your budget is. They know that they don't have to sacrifice detail and quality in your tattoo for cost, and at the end of the day, everybody's happy. Another term that you may hear when looking for tattoo prices is day rate. Now, most artists that do large scale custom work, anything that's going to take sort of more than 5 hours, your tattoo artist may give you a flat day rate. And this will probably work out very slightly cheaper for you to book the whole day in than the hourly rate. May not be, but you can definitely know exactly how much you're going to pay for a day. This is just another way for us to communicate effectively how much you're going to expect to pay on your tattoo, and also give our clients incentive to sit through bigger sessions so that we don't have to do very, very little chunks of large tattoos over a large scale of time. So those terms again, we've got minimum charge, hourly rate, flat rate, and day rate. And a side note to tattoo cost terminology is also with your deposits. You have to check the wording that your tattoo artists use for their deposits, because if it is a deposit on your tattoo, it generally does come off the end cost of your tattoo, given that you don't cancel or reschedule your appointments within that time frame. But some tattoo artists do give a booking or administration fee, and that is a flat fee, non-refundable, does not come off the tattoo price, and that is for booking, administration, and illustration costs, so the cost for your tattoo artist to sit down and design your tattoo. So let's get into some details about tattoo costing and quotation. The first thing that you should know about tattoos is that cheap tattoos are not good and good tattoos are not cheap. In most cases, you can expect your tattoo cost to reflect the quality of work. Not always though, you really do need to look at portfolios. So if you are price shopping, that is going between shops trying to find the most competitive price on your tattoo, you really need to check artist portfolios. First thing, you need to make sure that your artist actually matches the style of your tattoo, and I've done a video on that one. But if it's the kind of sort of walk-in tattoo that anyone could be good at, you really do need to check that artist's portfolio, whether it be online or in a book in the studio, to make sure that their tattoo quality is up to the standard that you expect for the amount of money that you're paying. Because although you would expect every tattoo studio to have good quality work, not all the time that is the case. So just definitely remember to check those portfolios. It's extremely important. Now, if you have watched my video on choosing your tattoo artist and you've chosen an artist that corresponds perfectly with the style of tattoo that you want, it is very important that you discuss your budget with that tattoo artist. Now, keeping in mind, if you have chosen a very high quality tattoo artist, their prices are going to reflect the quality. So go into it expecting that, but just be open, have the discussion. If you really are running on a budget, your artist can make some changes to the design, changes to the size, simplification in most cases to cater to your budget, within reason. You cannot go to a tattoo artist expecting a sleeve for $200. It's just not going to happen if the artist has any kind of quality workmanship. And the other thing you need to take into consideration while price shopping is that tattoo artists work over a huge range of time frames. Some tattoo artists tattoo very slow, their hourly rate may or may not reflect that. They like to take their time with it. Other tattoo artists will tattoo very fast and their hourly rate may also reflect that as well. Don't think just because you've been quoted something from one tattoo artist and something from another tattoo artist that they're going to be relatively the same. They could be ballpark different, but again, it's going to come back to the quality of the tattoo and what you're willing to pay, what your budget is. A very important thing to remember when you are price shopping is that if you do sacrifice quality for cost, if you have a very small budget, you could end up paying hundreds and hundreds of dollars down the track in laser removal or expensive cover-up tattoos if your tattoo quality is terrible. So that's something to really take into consideration again when you're looking at tattoo cost. So regarding hourly rate and flat rate, there is no set figure, set preference. Artists will do what they feel best for them and their clients. So if you have chosen an artist, if in the initial emails, just ask what their quoting style is, and that way you'll know what to expect on the day. Quoting large scale pieces is very difficult. So usually with my clients that are getting a sleeve or a leg sleeve, I will quote them the day rate, which is my full day rate, 9 until 4, and I will give them an estimation on the amount of days which I think the tattoo will take. And then I also give them my hourly rate quote in case they can't sit for a full day, or if their tattoo is going to take a full day plus a few extra hours. And usually I will give a pretty close estimate, but still a range of time and cost that it's going to take. I never give a set figure on cost for large scale work. I will always say, this is my day rate, this is my hourly rate. I estimate your tattoo to take between 2 and 4 full day sessions, give or take some hours. With my clients, it's not with full sleeves and full leg pieces and back pieces and torso pieces. You don't have to pay thousands and thousands of dollars up front. It's usually you pay for what you receive on that day. If an artist asks you to pay in full up front, make sure that you get a receipt or a deposit slip and deposit conditions so that you know exactly where you stand. But it's very rare for a tattoo artist to ask for the entire payment of a large scale piece up front, unless you've no-showed them or somehow really annoyed your tattoo artist. Unless you have proven to be a difficult client in the past with cancelling appointments or not showing up for appointments, in that case you may expect them to request that you pay in full upfront, but still ask for your deposit slip and deposit conditions. Like I said, quoting large scale, very difficult. Usually you can get a range, budget for the upper end of the range, and you should be covered, but just be flexible a little bit with the cost. Now, the best way to obtain a quote for your tattoo. Firstly, once you've chosen your tattoo artist, or if you are price shopping, you need to find out the way that that artist or that studio prefers to communicate. So if they prefer to communicate in person, you're going to need to go in for a consultation. If it's a street shop, you may be able to just pop in and talk to the receptionist. If it is a large scale custom piece, you're probably going to need to email the artist. One thing, you can't really give a tattoo quote over the phone because it's very, very hard for people to communicate exactly what they want, the size that they want, the placement that they want, the amount of detail that they want without us seeing pictures. We're tattoo artists, we're very, very visual people, so we're going to need to see something. So find out the best method of online or in-person communication with your artist or the studio that you've chosen. Send through or bring in a few reference pictures, 3 to 5 reference pictures tops, that just convey the amount of detail, the kind of style, the content that you want, just so your artist can get a bit of an idea in his or her head what they will be doing and have an idea of exactly where on your body you want and the size that you want it. And that way they'll be able to give you an estimate on time and cost. So just on that note, a couple of ways not to get a tattoo quote. Firstly, like I said, over the phone, don't use the term how much for a tattoo. If you are emailing or messaging in, don't say how much for a tattoo. That's cringy. Just include as many details as you can so that your artist does not have to get back to you with, oh, what tattoo do you want? Where do you want it? How big do you want it? Just save that time, go in with the details first up. Unless your tattoo artist specifically works in those means, and you can see usually on Instagram bios or Facebook pages, probably don't personal message on Facebook or Instagram your tattoo artist, because a lot of the time, if they're not following you, that will go into a filtered inbox, which they probably won't check for weeks. I don't check my filtered inbox for weeks and then go through and find all these messages from people from weeks ago trying to get in, which unfortunately I haven't seen. So the preferred method of contact is usually on the studio Facebook page or the Instagram page in the bio section. Sometimes they will have an email button or a call button or an email account or a website that's directed you to a website. You may have to fill out a form, but whatever method of communication that they request, please use it, and please don't personal message or personal inbox on Instagram or Facebook unless your artist specifies. Street shops should be fine. If you can just pop in, you can have a chat to somebody, they can give you a quick quote or organize you a consultation, but most large scale private artists will require you to book a consult. Please don't try and haggle with your tattoo artist. It's not an industry where we mark up just to be haggled down. It's actually seen as very disrespectful in the industry for people to haggle. So if you do try and haggle your tattoo price, you may end up without a booking or being asked to leave the studio. So that is something to be very aware of. Now in Australia we don't tip, but I know in other countries where tipping is the norm, you definitely should consider tipping your tattoo artist. Like I said, it's a very high risk environment, it's high stress because we are providing a personalised service using our own strand of skill or illustrative skill. Very, very stressful job dealing with customers. If your tattoo artist has made it an easy process for you and you're in a country where tipping is normal, definitely consider giving your artist a good tip. So there you have it, all the details on tattoo pricing and quotation. So if you have any more inquiries about that, please pop them in the comments below and I will address them. And make sure that you like and subscribe my page, and I will see you next time.